Welcome back, everyone, to DBDLeague. And after hearing how the other casters were so positive and so much cheering with a good mood, we shouldn't forget that we are in DBD comp after all. So it's an honor to me to introduce a very, you could say, okay caster with me today. Ray, welcome.
Hello. Good afternoon. Good morning. Hello, Dyer. What's up? It's really lovely to be here for yet another day. We have an exciting matchup today, and I'm really excited to be able to cast this one in particular because we got to see Team Calamity. We're casting Calamity versus Elysium, right? Before I say anything. Okay, yeah.
Yes.
I'm very excited because I got to see last time Calamity take down Eternal, and they have the chance today to also take down Elysium. It's going to be a very exciting matchup today, Dyer. What are we thinking? What's on the docket?
Yeah, honestly, and I think we can maybe skip the prediction a little bit to the beginning, because I think today it is actually impossible to call any winner here. Elysium has been very strong. We are kind of used to that, and a lot of people were worried going into AHL with the laser leaving Calamity, saying Calamity is a good chunk weaker now, but so far we can really not see that. Calamity is stronger than ever, and they even showed us how it's possible to knock down the one and only Eternal if needed. So Calamity with that very, very strong 3-2 against Eternal last weekend. So if there's any favorite for the crown in this tournament, then you could say that might be Calamity, as Eternal is usually taking the win in these tournaments. And if Calamity is stronger than Eternal, then logically they could also take out Elysium today. So it will be a very, very stacked game. For our sets, my dear audience and Ray, we are having a normal set at the beginning, the Mastermind, making the return, very hyped comp killer, and then we are going straight into a double Myers with the Halloween sets, Mirror Myers first and Tier 3 Myers afterwards. What do you think about these three sets that might already determine a winner?
2 Halloween Myers sets back to back is gonna be so weird, so interesting. I wonder if they picked it on purpose because they wanted like exactly to go against the team. That's gonna be so strange, and that's really just I don't know. I'm really excited for the Mastermind set though. I really like watching Wesker. Mostly because it's a very, very like high stakes set. It's a regular M1 killer with a little bit of a chase thing, but in higher level scenarios and games, these teams just pull off the craziest things. You could see killers pull off some crazy things. You see 5 generator chases with the survivors, and these teams are very, very, very good. Elysium, known for just winning so many tourneys back to back, and then you've got Calamity here, who just took down Eternal last weekend. So the stakes are going to be high. I'm excited to see what kind of strategies these guys have cooked up, what map that Wesker will be on. He might just be on the regular Coal Tower, or maybe they'll go for something else that's different and try to trip up the other team. And then we've got these Myers sets that require a lot of coordination. I am of the belief that on these sort of matches, these Halloween sets, the absolute better team will be coming out on top. You need perfect coordination and chemistry with your team. I don't know if we're going to be able to see a blowout. Maybe we'll see 3 sets in a row, one by one side, or maybe we'll see a healthy back and forth. That's my favorite thing to see. I'm not entirely sure. Like you said, I just want to skip this prediction because I can't tell which team is going to be winning this matchup today.
Yeah, that will be the big question, right? As you mentioned perfectly, the Michael set really, really bringing a shake up to a regular best of 5, because 2 of the deciding guaranteed sets are all about the coordination. The Mirror Myers, maybe even a little bit more, but even with the Tier 3 Myers, once you're having this dangerous one-hit machine against you, you really want to make sure that you're having the perfect efficiency when we're talking about the generators. If these these 3 sets are not enough, we're going into the Unknown and then the Nemesis on Coal Tower 1. We can reveal the tiebreaker map as the teams get the chance to prepare perfectly for set number 5. Nemesis, a very interesting killer. We have seen him last week already. Didn't turn out too good for Eternal back then. So maybe Elysium as the second strongest team, also potentially having a little bit of trouble when it comes to these inconsistencies, right? When we are talking about the zombies, a little bit of RNG. Are they next to my generator? How close are they? How much time are they wasting? These are factors that you cannot really plan. So potentially there is a little bit of an issue. Let's see how it's ultimately going to be played out here. Unknown and Nemesis also very interesting changes compared to the Myers. The Unknown is really more also again about this crazy killer gameplay again, right? We've seen it yesterday, for example, trying to use some hooks to bounce off your UVX. So some cheeky mindset sometimes needed, something unexpected, surprising the opponent team. And we are loading into the first trial already here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm actually impressed with 5 sets in all of these games today that we are so good on schedule. In fact, 5 minutes ahead of schedule here. This was really not what we were expecting at the beginning. Shout out to Eternal and to Rapture for also being quick and well prepared in their previous game. Welcome back, everyone. This is the housekeeping of DBDL. As mentioned in the previous trial, towards the end it was very hectic behind the scenes because we had a lot of screenshots provided by Team Elysium, and then on top of that, the 2 unbreakables. So should the restart be called this late? It shouldn't, but usually we are very, very fast on it. So forgive us, please, and let some mercy shine upon us for being a little bit confused between all these perk informations that we had. Calamity obviously very much agrees with the restart as it falls into their advantage, I would say. For Elysium, it is half of Oak Stage penalty, and also they are only allowed 3 perks on Pedro. The Unbreakable was taken out, meaning also that Calamity is aware of the perks of the other players. There's only the UB on Granout now, and all the other perks are not allowed to be changed as well. Let's see how it's going to go on the generator front, and Elysium is doing a pretty good job changing the injury onto Granout already for the first completed generator. So it seems like Elysium is not too much of taking damage from this penalty, and I think I just cast a cursed Granout to heaven.
Yeah. Probably. I mean, that's a quicker down than it was last game, so I could definitely see that this would be a little bit better. Oh, maybe. Oh, but the totems. This happened last game too. On Swamp, there is guaranteed 2 dull totems right there in the middle of the map, and it just so happened that, yeah, that's one of the Hex totems. One of them was already cleansed, so this is going to be Blood Favor or Devour saying goodbye. It was Devour. That could be good, that could be bad. I feel like that's bad because the way that Obi has been playing these games, he's leaving Hook intentionally, trying to get those stacks, trying to get those no way out stacks. So yeah, even right there, goodbye Devour, you're not gonna get anything. Oh no, baited up to vault the window. Pedro, please, this man is a family. Already trying to get some more chases going out, but these survivors are showing exactly how good they are at this game. This cat and mouse chasing. Where are we going, Obi? Where is he? Oh wait, Zeno's over there in the corner too. What is he doing over there? There is no Hex totem over there, Zeno. But that is a free tag, and you know, definitely take it. There we go. There's a down. Don't know why he was over there. I must not know something that they do. The down will be happening onto Zeno, giving them that second hook, second fresh hook. I feel like this is such a weird map, a weird build, weird pick that it's just, it didn't work the first time, and I don't think it's going to be working the second time either. Hopefully Obi will be able to get a better result than the last game. It already is seeming so because it was only about 3 stages, possibly a little bit more. Here we have the main building. It's going to be a little bit harder to chase on this one as well, although it is Wesker. Maybe it's a little bit easier. Holds the power right there. That will be rewarding him a hit onto Pedro. Still over here on main building, however, you still have quite a few pallets. Blood Favor, however, coming clutch and blocking them for a few seconds. Obi might be able to get a wonderful dash in here and get a down onto Pedro. Vaults that window right there. Pedro making it around. Throwing this pallet right here. This could be life or death. That is a 50-50. We'll see him play it out. Will he be getting it down? Yes, he will. This will already be a little bit of a better result than it was last game. 2 generators left and the third hook stage coming out. That will be 3 stacks of No Way Out, making endgame take just a little bit longer. I don't believe in these scenarios when you restart, you're allowed to switch the build on Killer, so he didn't at all. Maybe he didn't want to. The survivors do have a little bit of generator pressure going. That chase was just, it's not as long as it was last game. Obi not even seeming like he wants to tunnel anyway. I mean, this is a lower tier killer on such a weird map. He might just be trying to go for the most fresh hooks possible, the most stages possible, especially because a tunnel would take a little bit longer time because of the perks that are allowed in All Hallows League. We saw on Grena, I believe, has Decisive Strike, Unbreakable Hope. So those kinds of perks are really hard for lower tier killers to work through. We'll be seeing a down here, a hit there. Grena is now infected. Obi just taking the time to go around and chase people, whomever. He's doing the good guy strat, not going and tunneling out just one person. I'm sure chat is just so happy.
Yeah, absolutely. They have a reason to celebrate. Grenout doing a very good job here. Has this pallet, and after it's dropped, it's actually quite strong, especially when you have this one on the top side of this building as well. It's a lot of distance and a lot of time waste that is playing in your favor. Missing both of these survivors. Pedro, who's coming in to take a little bit of a body block hit, and the other one as well. We are now trying to make sure that we are going for the next down here onto Pedro. Very, very well done here, making sure that it's going to be the next hook stage that is going to be awarded. But the same problem a little bit that we have seen in the previous trial. It is not the elimination just yet. The tunnel out plan doesn't really work, and considering that the Grim Pantry here was the map choice of Calamity, I'm really interested to see what they are cooking up on the survivor side, because so far we more see that this is really working out to the disadvantage of the killer. It's a huge map. The survivors can, or the survivors of Elysium are perfectly keeping the distance, making sure that the pressure is spread accordingly and that a lot of time is being taken from the killer side. So hopefully they have something up in the sleeve for the end game. Also, in the previous trial that was restarted due to the perk mistake of Elysium, we have seen that Obi was coming out quite strong in the last few seconds of the game here, and this 3-gen that he has at the moment, this beautiful triangle, looks very promising, but Elysium has no interest leaving that up for any more minute. That's going to be the final generator and into the end game here. Pedro is dying onto the hook, but Ray, we better get an additional survivor here.
Yeah, he definitely wants at least one more hook stage. That could definitely mean a make or break. And oh, look at all that blood. I think Obi has definitely spotted it as well. Yes, this is Grenout. This is not the best case scenario, but it's not the worst case scenario, because I think it is Swatter who is the last fresh hook, but you can definitely see that Xena was the one hovering over by the exit gate. They are definitely hiding Swatter on purpose, not giving them the last fresh hook. But if Grenout here dies on hook, that will be awarding 2 more stages. That will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 with 3 fresh. I would say, personally, I believe that is a good result for Wesker on this map, especially because Obi's perks didn't really do what they were meant to do. He still got some value out of No Way Out. Yes, maybe some value out of Blood Favor. I feel like Blood Favor didn't really do too much on this map, though. The pellets were kind of perfectly spaced, that it didn't feel like any sort of clutch moment where he was able to get it down because of it. We have been seeing a lot of Blood Favor active in AHL because of how strong it can be, but it doesn't seem like... Oh my god, what is this plan here? You're just coming over here to work on this? Okay, Zeno. I mean, you could reward some more hook stages. It doesn't seem like Obi really is. He's none the wiser. Although, here we go. Are we playing to just get one more stage out? I mean, that would work out in their favor, but I don't think Swatter is even. Oh, he is over here. That's dangerous. What if Swatter gets downed? Oh my God, it seems like Obi has an idea as well. And the other 2 survivors are injured, so no matter what, if they come and they take a hit, oh my God! No, look at this perfect planning by the team. Although 2 survivors are injured, it does seem like Obi might still be getting another hook stage here. Yes, indeed, goes for the grab onto Zeno. It might seem that the greed was too much because instead of just having 1 stage, it could be 2 more right there. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 stages instead of 7. 3 fresh. That is a good result. And Obi saying thank you so much for giving me 1 more stage. That will definitely help out my team in the next game.
Yeah, Zeno trying to work a little bit as a bait here towards the end, but one thing that we can learn from the AHL so far is that sometimes it's not the best idea to go beyond the guaranteed result for yourself. We have seen that on the survivor side, we've seen it happening on the killer side. So here for Elysium it is 1 extra stage, and ladies and gentlemen, keep in mind also there is not going to be the tie chance for Elysium in the upcoming trial, so they would need to go for 9 stages. 8 stages on 4 individual survivors is not possible with the penalty, because that would bring us to 7.5. So we need 9 stages. It doesn't matter if that's on 3 survivors with clean kills, or if it's going to be 9 stages on 4. We are also getting alerted by our tournament analyst Toby that this is the best mastermind result that we have seen so far. He is actually quite weak. This of course also gets influenced by the lighter balance that we have on the survivor side, but the average at the moment is 6 stages, and generators are not really defended by the mastermind. So a lot of escapes happening, and the results really, you could almost say, underwhelming for such a strong killer. Therefore, a very, very nice step up here by Obi with Team Calamity and all the mastermind fans bringing back this killer a little bit. So the win condition for the upcoming trial is going to be 9 stages, either as a clean 3k or splitting it across 4 survivors. The 8 stages on 4 survivors win condition is no longer possible due to the penalty that Team Elysium had to take here. We are going to set up the upcoming trial, and we will be right back after this very short intermission.
Welcome back, everybody. We have taken a moment. We have switched sides. We have Zeno playing for Elysium on the Weska, so we can see a little bit of a more normal build. Oh my God, Oscar just completely caught off guard right there. Gives him just a completely early hit right there. That it could be, oh, I was gonna say it could be game changing, but it seems like Zeno's he's not really up to it. He says, oh man, I spotted somebody else who's in the corrupted gens. I want to chase them instead with all these pallets nearby. Maybe it's just he didn't want to chase main building. You know, that could be a smart play as well. We see that Zeno has indeed brought Corrupt Intervention, which is a little bit different than the last game. Also, Blood Favor has famously spawned right in the mid-map on those guaranteed spawns. Tries to go for a little bit of a dash right there, but does not get it. Marco is vaulting multiple times. We can see that this might result in a hit if Marco can't make it to another safer spot. Over here by this jungle gym, are we going to be able to see some? Ooh, a little bit of a skinny action man right there. Marco does do a little bit of a dodge. A little bit. I don't know what I'm saying. Please, Dire, take over.
In the first chase here between Marco and Zeno, we are going to have the deciding factor for this trial already, because the early game is setting the tone to which side has an easier time, and it seems to be on the survivor side, at least for now, with the first generator already being completed. Marco holding the corner here very beautifully, trying to see if the killer is going for the mind game or just holding W. Nice fake attempt Nice 360 afterwards, but it is going to be the throw with the power, but it does cost Xeno some extra time to move after this survivor, as it was unfortunately not a throw into the tree or the wall of the map. Marco trying to bait out the M1, so he makes it back into the midsection of the map. Xeno doesn't want to allow that, so Marco is just going to be thrown into the tree here, and Xeno trying to use the zoning for a potential 2-tap, and it does look really like a success could happen. Very well played. The first generator was lost, a second one will follow, but it's going to be a relatively quick hook stage regardless. Calamity might smash out 3 generators if Xeno is not going to the right generator after getting this hook stage. Important now to everyone who's wondering how many stages are needed. It is in fact right that we had 3 survivors hooked with 8 stages in the previous trial, but keep in mind that 8 stages on 4 survivors is not an option here for Team Elysium, as due to the penalty they would have 7.5 stages on 4 survivors, and this would then go to Calamity. So what we need is 9 stages. Either you just eliminate 3 of them and then you have 1 fresh hook walking out of the door, or you get the 9 stages on 4 survivors. That doesn't really matter, but 9 stages is the way to go, and we have an instant heal basically in the basement, but Rocket is being thrown into the wall for a 2-tap if you would run upstairs, and Rocket says, well, I can see what you are having as a strategy here, therefore I'm just going to waste your time a little bit playing the locker game. Next basement hook definitely not bad for Xeno, but 2 generators remaining. Calamity is very, very efficient.
Yeah, they definitely seem to be on those generators right there. We can see Oscar actually has a perk that lets him see where totems are, just to combat all of those other perks that Wesker could bring. I'm sure it is just for blood favor. Like I said, we've been seeing a lot of it this season because it's such a good perk, and we do see some value that is coming through. We're back on the chase of Oscar here, who was the first tag. It's gonna be another one right there. Now he's infected. Maybe we will see Wesker leave this as well. Maybe commit to another down right here. Yes, the Terradius has disappeared. Somewhat, yep, Wesker is no longer over there, no longer at the main building. Instead has decided to go chase somebody else. This generator here has quite a bit of progress. If they do spread out the hook, Xeno will be getting more Grim Embrace stacks. If he gets to 4, that will be blocking all of them. That is such a huge effect to have in a game such as this. Hein hasn't been hooked yet either, I believe, I think. Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure. I can't remember. But that would award another Grim Embrace stack if it is a brand new hook. We'll have to see if Xeno can make these dashes. He has the Beetle add-on. I think that makes your first dash a little bit longer than the second one, as opposed to Unicorn Medallion. I'm not an expert on Wesker just yet. Oh my God, embarrassed him. Just like they embarrassed Obi last game. You'll love to see it. Both these good players are just taking all the time necessary. We can see right here just how good the survivors are with their generator pressure, getting all of them down with just 2 stages. We can see Rocket already opening the door. It seems like this might just be a loss for the first set, going in favor of Calamity. They did pick this, so it's not too much of a surprise, but it is definitely wonderful to see, especially with how little stages Xeno was able to get. You can see that they definitely had the advantage in this pick.
Absolutely, and it's beautiful when a team is saying we are going to play the Mastermind, and then they really deliver, right? Because this was not even a performance where you say, okay, Calamity got a little bit of an advantage. It was actually a pretty clear result here towards the end. The good news is the penalty didn't come in clutch. It's always said when this half of a hook stage that we're giving out to teams that are behaving a little bit naughty is going to make the difference when we're deciding the set point. So it is very nice to see that. Oh, we even get a hole in the wall by behavior to spectate the Mori a little bit better. That's top service for the community here. Very well done by the devs as well. Shout out to the teams and the devs. Calamity taking, I don't even want to say the expected win here, because Elysium is a pretty strong opponent and is taking a lot of sets from the other teams whenever they are feeling confident. But when we are looking at the context of this entire thing, right, that Calamity knocked out Team Eternal, now comes into the game with Team Elysium, says we want to play the Mastermind, they are winning it. They are crazy strong at the moment, and I'm not even sure if it's fair to say they are the top 3 in this event, at least, because right now they have knocked out the winner from season 9 and they at least start knocking out Team Elysium on number 2. So we might have a huge shake in the entire competitive scene if Calamity keeps playing like this. The one chance that we have now on the side of Elysium is that they are taking their Halloween set. We are coming out with the Mirror Michael, so very dangerous here. We will see how that is going to be played out in the first Halloween set of this best of 5, and we're going to be back in just a moment, everyone. Welcome back, everyone, to the Mirror Michael. You 100% encountered this killer before in your pub matches when a Michael was trying to give you the jump scares of doom with a little bit of a wall hack ability. That's how we could call it. Difficulty for this set, you are a tier 1 Myers. Strength for this set, you are a tier 1 Myers with the mirror. So you are having the constant wall hack in as a trade-off for being very slow. That's why we are helping a little bit with the play with your food, but Ray, we are hoping for some chaos and some jump scares.
Yep, and we can see right here, Zeno is already playing with this food. He definitely just snuffed out Marco, who was hiding in the corner. Yes, the obsession, but Zeno wants to get those stacks to make him a little bit faster because Scratch Mirror Michael famously is slower than the standard killer. He is a very slow killer. So in order to actually get proper looping times, proper chases, you need to be a little bit faster. So you can see that he brought that perk just to do just that. We are crunching through all of these pellets over here that are incredibly safe. I'm surprised to see these get thrown so early because it is a Michael and you can loop around smaller loops, but I mean, he did have a couple of stacks. This will be the 3rd stack being awarded. Corruptor Dimension still blocking that side of the map. So these survivors have just been diligently working and getting all of those done. Are they all wearing fedora hats, actually? I just noticed that. Ugh! The entire team of Calamity is just wearing hats. I'm sorry. That's so cute, I guess. They're all matching. But also, I want to take a moment here to also acknowledge the fact that Zeno brought in Iron Maiden, which is an incredibly strange perk because it does only get value if survivors are hiding in lockers, and they might be hiding in lockers. I think that's exactly what Zeno is trying to cook up. Maybe he can get an insta down just like that, but it doesn't seem like they're wanting to do that. I mean, maybe it could be a late game clutch sort of perk. I mean, does have know it as well. Try to find survivors just in end game, because when you get out of the locker, you do scream and reveal your location as well. We could see a little bit of the scratch mirror, making it so he could see where Oscar is hiding along the wall, except, I mean, he knows you know, so everybody knows where everyone is, and it's so hard to get downs this early. We can see it that Zeno did use up 1 stack of play with your food on Oscar there when he went for the swing. First generator gets done, tries to get another stack from Marco. Second generator gets done. That's the kind of penalty you suffer when you are trying to get more play with your food stacks away from all of the generators on the other side of the map. It seems that Zeno is trying to get back in the chase with Oscar. When you have 3 play with your food stacks, you are incredibly fast. So it seems that he will be getting another down, yes, and hovering for a pellet save here is a bad idea because he can see you through the walls. It might award him a tag here and there. We'll see if the survivors still try to hover a little bit. Nope, and that will be the first hook at 3 generators remaining.
Yeah, at least you're now getting your game started on the killer side. I have to agree and circle back a little bit on the Iron Maiden. It might be the idea that Calamity is hiding in lockers and that you can cook something up, but it's also a huge assumption, right? So even when it would work on Hein, you're doing this... Never mind. I'm talking about how this is a huge assumption. It might be a big risk, and Zeno is just showing me how I should better be quiet about the critique and take this hook stage. I'm not saying anything anymore. Zeno is right here on this perk decision. He just proved me wrong. I like being proven wrong, especially when it's such an exciting gameplay. So very well done, Zeno. I don't have anything to add about your strategy here. Hein being on the hook, Rocket and Oscar both being injured. I doubt that Calamity is going for the reset anytime soon, because they really can send in Marco here for going for the reset, and also they are going to have this wall hack problem. So the two survivors that are meeting up here are immediately found by Zeno and put under pressure, and we are also going a little bit back towards the hooked survivor. I was about to say this means that they are either saving right now or they are getting themselves in a little bit of trouble. Luckily they are having everything organized, so the fourth survivor is back in play. Oscar instead is now going to be thrown onto the hook here. So far it was a very strong and efficient survivor trial. Calamity leaving a pretty good impression here, but Zeno is slowly making the comeback, especially with this very unexpected hook stage from the survivor in the locker, and now chaining a good chunk of injuries together even into the downs. He's doing a fantastic job.
Yeah, it seems like he is creating... Should I say it? He's creating calamity within Team Calamity. Oh my god, I feel like you're rubbing off on me, Dyer. I shouldn't be making these jokes. I'll leave them up to you. But that does actually seem what is happening right here, creating a little bit of chaos in the team. They're a little bit disheveled and disorganized. Here, Oscar would be a tunnel out. If he has Decisive Strike, that would work in his favor, except Zeno goes for a swing and a miss. Now he's actually just the slowest killer in Dead by Daylight, except Nurse, but she has a deadly ability, and now Michael is just gonna have to struggle to get this kill right here. That would be wonderful for endgame, especially with Wallhack Myers. We do know that he has Hex, no one escapes death as well, so that could lead to just some dastardly plays in endgame. However, Zeno is a smart killer and knows that chasing Oscar while being that incredibly slow is just a huge time sink that is definitely not worth it. He is instead choosing to pressure the rest of the map. He does have a good generator setup, but when you are a tier 1 Michael, it can be a little bit harder to do. It seems that maybe he's trying to sniff out Marco to get some more play with your food stacks. It is sort of just an admittance that it is really difficult to get any sort of chases happening whenever you are incredibly slow. Yes, it seems like Zeno is going for just that plan. It also seems like the survivors know exactly what they're doing as well, because they are keeping Marco very far away from the other generators on this side of the map. He has been here the whole entire time, just waiting for Zeno to sniff him out and get some more play with your food stacks. They're saying, yeah, he is getting these, but it's a huge time sink, right? They are sitting over there on all those generators. It seems Zeno wants to go for all 3 stacks as well. Maybe trying to go for a hook onto him. Yeah, that was a huge time waste. And it doesn't seem like Zeno knows. They do pop 1 generator, and the last one is soon to follow. We saw that it was done. Maybe they're waiting to see if Marco here takes a tag so he can get a little bit of a speed boost. Oh no, he's just going for it, and that activates No One Escapes Death. Dude, he's gonna be so fast with this too. 3 stacks and then plus the No-Ed speed. They're all the way into endgame here, and we will see if Zeno can make something of this game. Marco is a fresh hook, so it is the ideal chase here. Maybe seeing if he can get this down. Yes, that incredible speed will allow him to get that right there. He can get the hook onto Marco, but it seems like Zeno wants a little bit more.
wants to get a little bit more, but that didn't work out in the first set when they had this on the survivor side. And let's see if it's going to work out here when he's playing the killer. Marco is going to be thrown onto the hook. That's going to be 3 additional stages, and he is going right next to the exit door, which is a surprising decision here. The exit door is not just ready yet, but also perfect timing by Calamity on the Noah totem. Now we are back to a slower killer here. We can use maybe the tokens of play with your food to take over a little bit, but I do think Hein is doing a good job of blocking the killer here. Yeah, and that's actually going to be Marco, the potential fresh hook that brought 2 additional stages walking out of the door. And if I didn't see wrong, that should be 5 stages. The good news is on 4 individual survivors, so there is definitely the chance to cook something on the side of Elysium when they are playing survivor. For example, making sure that one Michael is not going to find survivor number 4, and then you're having 4 on 3 and can take the set. But it was once again a pretty strong performance by Team Calamity.
That is definitely something for the books. Now we're going to take a moment. We're going to switch sides. We're going to have Calamity playing the Scratchmere Michael. It's also really fun because I forgot that the survivors aren't allowed to have a single perk. So don't go anywhere, everybody. I think we are going to go on a very, very short break, and we're going to have Calamity killing next. Welcome back, everybody. We have taken that moment, we have switched sides, and now we have Calamity killing against the survivor team of Elysium. We saw last match a wonderfully played set, and now we are here to beat it. We have almost exactly the same perks, except No Ed, No Way Out, Play With Your Food, and Sloppy Butcher. A more hit and run play style, no corrupted invention once again. Obi is definitely not playing around. He's gonna have to get some Play With Your Food stacks to compensate for this such game. We have Swatter here, who was the obsession, so we are going to be able to get some stacks here. Obi knows exactly what is gonna happen. Swatter knows exactly what's gonna happen. They need to just get some tags and some chases going. Will we be seeing a tag here early? Yes, we will. Swatter will be a Sloppy Butcher that does use up a Play With Your Food stack, but that's okay because we're still chasing Swatter and we'll be getting another one back. Because Obi did not decide to bring Corrupted Invention, that is just giving the team free reign to go around and do generators, except right here, that'll be Swatter onto the ground. I'm not sure what the plan was right there, but that was an incredibly early down. He could have gone and thrown that pallet already, but this is going to be really good for Team Calamity.
Very, very well done. I mean, you just played a pretty strong survivor game where everything worked out for you. And then you're coming into this upcoming game, you're getting almost a 2-tap onto Swatter before the first generator is even coming out. In the previous trial, we've seen multiple generators completed until Xeno finally got the first hook stage. So the pressure is definitely there. Obi can now also kind of lurk in this area. He will see with this mirror who's going to rotate in. He can keep an eye on this generator here. Currently he's keeping 2 survivors busy that are trying to bait out the unhook or the generator as an alternative. So also knowing basically that only 1 survivor is currently working on the generator in the distance. Obi is not overcommitting to the survivor on the generator as he knows that it's going to be the instant rescue from the other side. So as more and longer he keeps these survivors busy, as more of a time win for Team Calamity here. Very well done now, faking that he would go for the kick on the generator and forcing one of these survivors to overcommit. Elysium's survivors are not allowing this. On the other hand, this is actually a pretty intense mind game that is going on. So far, it seems like 1-0 for Elysium on this mind game because they get the gen, they get the unhook. It is resulting in 3 injuries, but I would say Elysium did very strong in this situation.
Yeah, even though that was an incredibly early down compared to the last game, look at that. They got 3 generators done. I'm not sure if that's due to the fact that Obi didn't have Corrupted Invention or it's just this, you know, the survivor team is so correct and they got 3 generators done super early, super quick, dude. It feels like they are just They are just like generator speed hacking or something, because they always be pumping out these generators super quick. You can already see that Obi is on the case of Swatter once again, who is the obsession, so it will be giving him some play with your food stacks. Obi might need just another instance that happened last game where the team was just disorganized and giving him a lot of hook stages. We do see also, the reason I was so hesitant to actually read out the perks was because normally No Way Out and Hex No One Escapes Death is a banned combo, but it doesn't apply in this set. So that is going to be a very dastardly end game, especially with the play with your food. Maybe we will be seeing some endgame slugs. Obi only got about one stage right there, but there's 2 survivors out here who are injured and will be 1 hit away from going down. Will we be seeing Xeno take some hits here? I'm not entirely sure. Nope. It seems like this will be iPick down and on the ground. Will be... Oh my god, what does he do? He's just hovering right there? That's too close. That's gonna be a save. That's not too close. Oh my god, I really thought... I think Xeno thought too. That will be the second fresh hook onto iPick right there. But the survivors have been out there. They've been working on generators as well. We saw that Xeno and iPick were here healing. Swatter is now back onto a generator there over at main. A save happening immediately. Swatter working on a generator over there. Their gen pressure is just so insane. That is almost all generators done for just 2 hook stages. You can really see what it's like to play against top performing teams. It seems like they're just almost cheating with how good they are getting these generators done.
Yeah, I mean, when we are looking at it, right, to only 2 stages so far, it looked like a pretty difficult match based on the early game, but now everything has changed here for the survivor team. Calamity out of nowhere, under a lot of pressure on the killer side, because the survivors of Elysium are just so strong, so good with the generator pressure and pushing it closer and closer towards the end game. Here, only a few percentages away from the end game. I think Obi can tell as well, trying to catch a survivor unexpectedly, but it's not going to work out, at least not on Swatter here. Very nice stun with the pallet and getting some distance. Second token back on the play with your food. Important now also. We kind of need a zooming killer in the end game. Very unfortunate that Swatter was not over there, but he's found here. So the third token is coming back. 15% of extra speed for the killer. That's going to be more difficult to loop, at least around the weaker pallets, and also Myers can any second just jump out of the shadows onto you. Xeno has a few valuable resources left, is making sure that he's not going to take any extra risk, wants to get into safety, and that's going to be the end game. The only problem is we are having 3 stages onto Xeno, but it would be 5 stages on 3 survivors, so getting Xeno will not be enough for the win.
Nope, it seems like Obi is sort of committing to it though. He does have No Way Out, only able to get 2 stacks. That won't be the maximum value allowed for this perk. But keep in mind, he has Hex No One Escapes Death and wall hacks. So, oh wait, okay, well one of them is gone. But there are 2 people who are injured, so it's almost the same thing. 1 person's injured. Oh my god, they keep caster cursing me. I keep saying stuff and then they keep changing it out. Elysium surprising me left and right. Just their coordination, their gameplay. I shouldn't be surprised because we know this team and their history of just demolishing other comp teams. But it's still just incredible to see they get everybody all healed up. Obi has to do some sort of miracle to just chain hits. We need these survivors to make more mistakes. It seems like there are a billion pallets on this map too. Everywhere we turn, there's just another playable tile. These survivors are just showcasing how expert they are at how well they can play all of these. Look at this, another tile, man. He does have 2 stacks to play with your food, so it'll be a little bit easier to play. But even then, he needs to win a 50 against Swatter, who is just so incredibly patient. Obi will be kicking this pallet instead. Zoning him to that side. Is somebody over here? Obi, is somebody over here? Yes, indeed. Will that be the hit onto iPick? It will be. I'm not sure even if the death onto iPick will be enough stages, especially because look at this. We've got Gren out here who is able to take a body block hit. We'll have to see if it was just as good as Heinz was last game. It definitely does seem so. Look at all these doorways. It's going to be difficult to just make or break around here. Oh my God, it seems like he does get the advantage a little bit here, but I mean, like it's a staring contest at this point.
Yeah, so iPick would not be enough because then we are talking about 5 stages on 3 and we had 5 stages on 4 survivors. Granout is the key because Granout would be 6 stages if he dies, and Granout is also that 4th individual survivor that we are talking about. So if we are going for this scaring and staring contest, I guess, and the end game collapse is taking multiple survivors out, then we would have enough stages here. Xeno a little bit as a bait in the back of the killer here. It is intense, yeah. So any of the survivors, Tap, Swatter, or iPick is not going to be enough to secure the win. We need Granout onto the hook. If it's 2 stages on Granout, it would be the tiebreaker because of that 4th individual survivor, and when Granout dies, then it's anyway 6 stages. So let's see if they are able to do that. I think Elysium is aware as well that one of these survivors can die as long as it's not Granout, and now he's also coming in as the healthy survivor for the perfect body block. So we are actually shrinking it down to just 3 stages, which is going to be a clear win for Team Elysium, bringing us to the 1-1. And the next killer, Ray, very exciting, the Myers again, tier 3.
Oh my God! Oh my God, the same killer, except this will be a little bit different. You know, I'm not a fan of the Scratch Mirror, Michael. I feel like the games are very tedious and they're very slow, but the next one is not the same. It's not Scratch Mirror, it's tier 3. It's Tuft of Hair, and it's played on a different map as well. It's played on Hawkins, a little bit more of a dangerous map. I love this set in particular. I think this one is my favorite of all the Halloween sets because it's just the killer is so incredibly strong. You can't make all of these daring plays right there in endgame with all that body blocking that is typical in, you know, comp DBD, but it's not going to be in this set. You can't do that. So it's different and it's interesting, and I love to see how these top tier teams will adapt. Calamity and Elysium taking a set point each. It's definitely looking like this is going to be a healthy back and forth. It's going to be super fun and super interesting. These Halloween sets, I feel like, are just so weird in that it's not like a clear-cut winner for either side. We've seen both teams make some good decisions. We've seen some teams take some bad chases. We've seen it all, and we will see it again after a short break.
Welcome back, everyone, to Hawkins National Laboratory, and what a surprise! We're going to have the Michael. The tier 1, tier 3 combination is actually coming out pretty often in AHL. Seems like teams really love the gameplay. We are playing a completely different rule set this time on the Myers. We are forcing the killers to bring Unforeseen or Trial of Torment as one of the 2 perks to hide the terror radius a little bit, and we are forcing them into the add-ons for a permanent tier 3. Now, on the survivor side, we have seen different approaches. One of them you see right here, abusing these circular loops for as long as possible to constantly break line of sights and making it extremely painful and time wasting to go for more stalk progress. Other teams are keeping 2 of their survivors hidden to make sure that the tier 3 is not able to be awarded or earned very early on, and then we are having teams like Eternal. They are just aggressive from the get-go. Aggressive is also Obi for at least trying to damage the air multiple times here. He's not even hitting any rock, metal, or machine, so we cannot even consider this as playing Minecraft. It's double unfortunate, but finally we're going to get the injury onto Swatter, but we do not have any progress for the tier 3 yet.
Yeah, well, we have progress a little bit just in tier 2. I guess that is getting out of tier 1, which is important. for speeding up yourself a little bit. Obi did swing quite aggressively into the air, possibly is trying to just catch these survivors off guard. These Hawkins pallets, they're not very good, but they are playable, especially for these really, really good survivors. We can see Xeno just hiding in a locker right here. Look at this build. This is a build and a half. Head on, distortion, Medal of Man, and decisive strike. It seems that Xeno wants to be a little bit aggressive with his plays. We're gonna see a drop down there? No, Obi really thought. But that is Corrupt Intervention gone. He has Eruption, Play with Your Food, and Trail of Torment. These perks are gonna make it so he is able to, I believe it would be easier to hold 3 gens, just pressure the map a little bit. When you have tier 3, you are a lot oh my god. Spots Xeno going in for the save onto the basement there. He is the Play with Your Food obsession. It seems like Obi is actually giving up this 1-for-1 just to be able to get a Play with Your Food stack. And look at all this stock that happens when you're tier 3 Myers, and you are whenever you're stalking as Myers, you lose collision, so you can't just body block somebody in a spot there. So that's why you can't do it in basement. Will we be seeing a healthy tier up right here? I don't think that Xeno is gonna be enough to get all the way to tier 3, but he is a good chase, mind you, because of Play with Your Food. It seems like Xeno has an idea as well. He's trying to break line of sight before he starts chase, but it wasn't enough. It was a smart plan. Obi will be getting 2 stacks from here, and he is so very close to getting to tier 3. You can see that there is a survivor up there. Yes, and there we go. This is where the real game starts. We'll have to see some coordination from the survivors. Oh my god, blasting it right in his face. But kicking this generator here is applying Trail of Torment, and now he is deadly stealthy. We might see some survivors caught off guard, but they know about it. When you kick a generator with Trail of Torment, it highlights the yellow for everybody, not just the killer. That's not just the eruption highlight. So the survivors do know that he is stealthy, but they don't know exactly where he is. We'll have to see what Obi can cook up, if he can get another down from this. Chasing Swatter, who is the only injured survivor, only person who was up on a hook. It can be good for getting a tunnel out and making the game that much easier for the end game. Oh my god.
Standoff here between Obi and Swatter, and eventually Obi decides to strike and is successful with that. Next hook stage coming in here onto Swatter. That's also the survivor that is going to say hello to the second hook stage already. 70 seconds, and then we are having the elimination on this survivor. So for Obi, it should also be clear that this is the target after being unhooked. You can tunnel out this survivor and force yourself into the very comfortable 3v1 scenario. Going to check on the corner generator over here. No survivor making any trouble. A little bit of progress over here, but this generator is regressing. So Elysium has pulled back a little bit from the generators, playing this a little bit earlier. They also should better think about any strategic plan, how they can keep Swatter alive and how they can potentially make sure that they are staying 4 individual survivors here. Trying to make sure that Obi is not going to lose this survivor. Therefore, we see him going back towards the hook here. No survivor will move in though, as long as Michael is around here, when they cannot guarantee that Swatter is being taken off the hook. And against the tier 3 Myers, that's going to be an incredible task. Third generator gets completed in the distance, leaving 2 generators to repair with 3 individual survivor. We have seen a little bit of progress here and there. On this side, we have round about the 60%. On the right side of Hawkins, we had half of a generator. So they are definitely with the progress. The question is, will they be able to go for all this pressure enough with 3 survivors? And for that, they need a good run in the mid game, because if Obi is now going to jump scare a survivor, taking them down on the ground instantly, I feel like there's still a chance that our Michael has a pretty strong trial.
Yeah, and it seems like the survivors are playing incredibly safe. We know that this generator up here has incredible line of sight, so it could be that they're just waiting. They're just waiting to see if they can get line of sight onto the Michael to be able... Oh my god, I can't believe... Maybe he fell. This can be Blast Mine again, isn't it? Oh my god, it isn't! Yo, nice! And now he's Trail of Tormented. Now a very, very stealthy boy. That room right there has incredible line of sight, so if the survivors really wanted, they could just work on that one alone. and just wait to see till they see that they have line of sight on Michael. It might be that that's exactly what happened. Keep in mind as well, Trail of Torment will be eliminated. This is everybody just standing around. Trail of Torment is eliminated when the generator stops regressing. These survivors are playing this incredibly slow, just waiting to see if they can get line of sight onto the killer here. This is a very, very small pallet. Yes, Obi has found out Grenout, who can be put onto the ground with the infinite tier 3, just munching through these pallets, reducing their resources. We know that Xeno and iPick were somewhere hidden. A wonderful, wonderful head-on stun right there. That is the first that I have seen in all of AHL. You can pick so many perks, and yet you decide to go for head-on. It seems like it got some incredible value. However, Xeno's still trying to make it so that Obi does not get play with your food stacks super easily. We'll be seeing just a lunge right through that pallet. It was already thrown. Eruption is proccing and reducing those generators' progress by 10%. But will it be enough?
Yeah, that's the question, right? It's a good strike onto Xeno here, getting the second survivor onto the hook, but is it enough? This is a question for both of these sides, actually. Is it enough to just hook Xeno here, since we have so much pressure on other generators? The answer is no, but also for Elysium, it is not enough what they have shown us so far. They do need to have some strong runs in order to make sure that they are getting through all these gens here. This time, we're going to have this little surprise on the generator, so there will be 100% the revenge later by Obi for this. iPick is going to be the next survivor in the chase. Doesn't have the strongest pallet here, therefore it's very understandable that he's moving over to this one. Even this pallet is tricky once it's being dropped, but iPick doesn't even make it all the way over there, as Obi is going for a good mind game here, trying to wait out the head-on. He does expect that Xeno is sitting in the locker here, a DS on top. So our killer expecting that Elysium is going for something here. Xeno now acting like the head-on didn't work, wanted to go for the decisive strike, but that's not going to be successful as well. Very unfortunate here. iPick is going to be onto the hook now, and this might take a very dangerous and dark turn for Team Elysium, because the strategy didn't really work out, and also that's going to be the grab from Granout here, and that's, ladies and gentlemen, is the quick turn into a 4K1 in literally seconds. Ray, what do you think about this?
I think that was insane. Okay, I maybe I wasn't paying attention, but I didn't see him in that locker either. Did we see him go in that locker with decisive?
I didn't. That's why I'm very much in love with Obi's game sense.
Yeah, maybe he heard him in there. It could have been that our game is not turned up as loud, so maybe Obi did hear him making injured sounds in there. He had decisive strike. Yeah, okay, so confirmation from the staff here. He was injured, so Obi did hear him making sounds in there, but that is just incredible. Waited out the decisive strike, mind you. So it's not as if he was trying to bait the head on. He was, but at the same time, he couldn't pick because of the decisive strike. So they jumped right out. The plan from Elysium fell apart in the end game there. Maybe they should not have brought head on. Maybe they should not have. Indeed, because it seems like that was their downfall. This is a 4K1 result, however, and that is not surprising. But, I mean, from Team Elysium, the way it was looking, they were doing so good. We have said in the past before in previous seasons that Elysium really comes alive when it comes to the 3v1. And we saw that happening. That was a very fun and healthy back and forth. They were doing fantastic. Although we did see when those two survivors were on the ground that iPick just popped his generator. That might have been them conceding, being like, hey, we might not make it out of here, man. Pop your generator. And they did not. Obi was able to get the 4K1, a good and healthy result. We'll have to see what Team Elysium, what their killer can cook up against Calamity. Calamity known for being very good at coordination. We did see them fall apart a little bit in the Larry set, however, against the Michael with the scratch mirror. So maybe we'll be seeing a repeat of that. I don't know. What are we gonna be seeing? Dyer, do you have any predictions?
Yeah, that's the... this best of 5 is just turning into a very difficult case when we are talking about predictions, right? Because just a few minutes ago we were talking about how Obi definitely hasn't done enough yet with the down onto Xeno and how we need a lot more, and 120 seconds later we are staring on a 4K with generators remaining. And on the other hand, I also think that Elysium was absolutely not expecting this potential downfall when they were cooking up the head-on strategy. So I think what we can learn, especially from this trial, is that Elysium and Calamity are absolutely head-to-head. It's a very, very close game, and honestly I feel like that Calamity is this one step ahead today, because they are coming out of last week where they won against Eternal, so they have every reason here to be very, very confident. And what they just learned in this trial is, even if Elysium's survivor team is looking strong, it takes 1 second, 1 action, and everything is falling apart. And if Calamity is making sure they are turning this into their strength now, so they are having a good action in the mid game on their upcoming survivor game, and they are putting Elysium's killer under pressure, just like how they did it in opposite now, I feel like then they can make a miracle here. So Calamity is going to take the responsibility on the survivor side now. Elysium will be on the killer, and we will see you on Hawkins in just a moment. Since our killer player needs a pretty strong result, he hopefully took the time during the break to get a little bit of a snack, essentially taking a Xeno bite from his sandwich, and now coming out strong against the survivors of Calamity here. Rocket, Hein, Marco and Oscar are spreading across the generators on Hawkins National Laboratory, and Xeno needs a pretty strong result. In case you stepped away and didn't see what happened towards the later mid-game in the previous trial, everything fell apart basically on the side of Elysium, on the survivor side, and it got turned into a 4K with 4 generators completed, meaning that we need only 3 gens done, and then Xeno needs to get the 4K already. All generators done, on the other hand, would be the win condition here for Team Calamity, currently playing Survivor. Good news that Xeno didn't lock in a No One Escapes death. This can sometimes really be punishing when you are preparing for the end game and then your Survivor team is not delivering really, so there's not going to be a disadvantage through that. And very rarely we are seeing an unforeseen this time by the killer being brought. So Xeno has something else in mind.
Yeah, for sure. I would say though that bringing in Noah here is like almost, I don't want to say it's a throw, but it's not a throw, because the average result for Tier 3 Myers is definitely all survivors gone before the last generator gets done.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say that the last game wasn't like too surprising of a result, except for the fact that Elysium survivors were playing incredibly well. It just seemed to have fallen apart in just like a microsecond. Obi able to capitalize on the fact that the survivors were a little bit disorganized. Here we have generator progress. He doesn't even have a down, and all like corruptor dimension is gone. And we can see right there, that is the forced perk, Unforeseen. You can either bring Unforeseen or Trail of Torment. It seems that Xeno has decided to bring Unforeseen, which you kick a generator and it transfers your terror radius to that generator, but it doesn't highlight it. The thing is the difference between Trail and or Unforeseen is that Unforeseen only lasts about 30 seconds, while Trail lasts until that generator stops regressing, except that generator gets highlighted. So it seems that Xeno has decided to take this one. Maybe he'll cook up something interesting. Also, the cooldown for Unforeseen is way, way shorter. Trail's cooldown is very, very long, so you don't get to use it as often, as deadly as it might be. So we'll see if they are able to get some good progress. It seems like Calamity survivors are doing a really good job. One of the most beneficial things you can do in this set is know exactly where the Myers is. And that is exactly what Calamity is doing. They know exactly where he is. Xeno is not even in tier 3. They popped the first generator. This survivor seems to be completely stocked out. I think that's Rocket up there. And then we can see Hind here. He definitely seems to be the last survivor who will be giving Xeno his tier 3, except look at all this generator progress. We know that one over there highlighted was kicked and it had a lot of progress. That mid generator is almost done. It seems like Calamity is in their element and are having a fantastic start.
Yeah, the reason why I know it came into my mind there was because Calamity has proven really, really strong sets on the Myers. They are also belonging to these teams that are really denying the tier 3. So if nothing is working out, then you might want to take out that perk. But this time, Calamity is playing a lot more aggressive when we are talking about the tier 3 strategy here. They're not trying to hide anymore as they were using to in the previous games in this tournament. Now they are going really, really hardcore on the generators here. Xeno now with the mind game. Marco is just going to take it, is emoting. That, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, is not a BM. That's going to be seen a lot of times by the players, because if you're emoting, you're instantly able to move your character when being on the floor. Otherwise you have this fall down animation, and only then a couple of moments later you can maneuver with your survivor. So if you're planning to be a little bit stronger with your flashlight or pallet safe, this is the tip right here from Team Calamity. Rocket is a little bit too close, trying to pick up the survivor. Xeno is going to chase for a moment, then sensing a survivor in the background. This is tricky here now, because Xeno cannot really pick up. Two survivors are around. The time waste on that is visible on the top side. There's a generator completed now. On the other hand, he cannot overcommit to one of these survivors, because then Marco is being picked up on the floor. It seems like we switch target onto Rocket. Unfortunately, though, Rocket is not making it over to the pallet. This had the potential to turn out really strong for Calamity. It still is a strong early game though, because we need to remember only one gen more and then we need to 4K.
Yeah, definitely. And it seems like Xeno knows that and he's under pressure. Instead of just taking the time to hook Rocket, which could activate some dastardly perks, it could activate somebody saving for deliverance, it could activate decisive strike, all those anti-tunnel perks. Instead, maybe we're just gonna see the classic Xeno slugging strat. We see this happen in some other games. I didn't think we'd be seeing it happen in this one, especially because the balancing allows for things like exhaustions, right? Like, it's gonna be difficult to catch these survivors. Unbreakable, it's gonna be difficult to 4-man slug, except, man, these guys love cursing me today. You've heard of caster cursing? This is player cursing. I say one thing and then they just completely prove me wrong. Xeno getting Oscar onto the floor right there. Hind, Rock, and Marco are out there injured. This is tier 3. Why would you heal? Xeno is definitely going to take the time. Yeah, he's going to hook somebody up. He needs to create more pressure. The survivors are just seemingly always running around, getting generators done. Xeno does have Grim Embrace too, so he will get some beneficial stuff from hooking people. That'll block generators for about 10-15 seconds and allow him to just kind of scope out the scene. The survivors can't be stealthy because they are injured, right? There's no hiding. But the generator spread is looking really, really good. Calamity doing a great job. But we saw last game that things can fall apart so quickly. Hind here also caught off guard. We'll have to see if the survivors can heal. This could be a really, really scary turning point for these survivors. They don't know where Xeno is at this exact moment. He is out there and he is dangerous. The save does happen onto Oscar. Hind is still on the ground. Xeno gonna take the time to... Oh, he's just gonna take the time to hook. Nice, that's nice.
We need to take a moment real quick and ask our wonderful producer to restart the Discord screen share. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, that you're hearing that, but you might have noticed throughout the tournament, sometimes we're having audio issues and Discord is sometimes going a bit nuts over time. So this should hopefully fix it and you might not even notice it. Greetings from 10 minutes in the future. Hind, the fresh hook here, 2 minutes and 20 seconds on the hook. So this is giving a little bit of extra time for the survivor side, but we are having a lot of injured survivors around as well. That makes it a lot easier for Xeno to locate them due to the grunts of pain, and that is generator number 4 coming out. So we are in best case for Team Elysium now talking about a tie. In this case, we will play the other sets and then make a return to the Myers if there's no decision later on. But this is a little bit devastating for Elysium now, because Xeno is playing well. He definitely has a good game here against these survivors of Calamity, and the fact that the maximum outcome is the tie is really, really sad. Rocket is going down onto the floor. On the other hand, though, it would still be a big achievement if he's able to actually achieve the tie, because I think it was not expected. Calamity came out pretty strong from the previous trial. They started pretty strong on the survivor side, so if Xeno somehow manages to get the tie here, Elysium might have a little bit of a wave of motivation.
Yeah, it seems like this is just such a good back and forth between all of the teams. Calamity should be celebrating quite a bit right now, because look at that gen spread. Those are not too incredibly close together. This generator has been kicked multiple times. It's getting crunchy. That must have been kicked at least 6 or 7 times. It's getting so close to being blocked. And look at this generator over here having so much progress. Do they know that this is where the Myers is? It might not even matter, because they have good line of sight here. And we also know that Oscar does have balanced landing. So if he vaults this, that means that he gets away. We'll have to see. Oh, good mind games. Oh, but the tier 3 lunge makes it so it's really hard to get away there. Oscar will be put onto the floor. There is a lot of progress that has happened everywhere else. Xeno needs to get everybody on the ground slugged, tell them to stop working on those generators, but they have just such good pressure. The survivors might take the time to just slow down, take a breather, try to get everybody up and going, or they might just try to play it super aggressive. There is a lot of progress, so they don't want that to go completely to waste. 2 survivors over here. I'm assuming that the last survivor that we don't see is probably coming over to pick up Oscar off the ground. It seems like no matter what Xeno does, he has to be in 2 places at once, and he can't do it. There's 2 generators with so much progress, but he needs to just get everybody. Is this the last stack of Grim Embrace, however? It might be, and if it is, that will reward Xeno with the full use of Grim Embrace, blocking all generators for an undetermined amount of time that I can't remember. This will be this generator at 50%. Yes, indeed. There we go. And it also reveals the aura of Oscar, who is the obsession. So Xeno knows exactly where one person is. He has an idea what everybody else is. This could be the turning point that Xeno needed.
Now, it is actually so on edge between these 2 teams. Marco on the hook there again. You could argue perfect for our survivor team. 2 minutes 20 seconds of hang time. Good for Xeno here that he has the Grim Embrace on the other hand, so there's certainly going to be the advantage for him, but ultimately it's coming down to just a few seconds, I believe. If we are talking about the tie or the win for Elysium here, we can tell this generator has a bit of progress. Xeno is currently chasing this survivor, so the other 3, since they got the very quick rescue, are now going to take their hands on the other generators here as well. So it is going to stay really, really close when we are talking about these 2 teams. Calamity and Elysium are not giving anything to each other, and there's going to be the dead heart. That is not going to be a slug pressure. That is going to be Xeno trying to chase the final generator, but there it is. Rocket, Hein, Marco and Oscar managed it once again, bringing it to a 2-1 advantage in this best of 5. The good news is we are done with the Michael sets, so there's no surprise anymore. We are going back to what the teams prepared, and we are going back to Elysium's set, the Unknown. And this is a pretty good news, because Elysium is now on edge of leaving this entire tournament if they are losing in the upcoming set. So we can only hope that the Unknown is going to work out as they are expecting it.
Okay, Oscar. Didn't even crawl out there. Oh, does he want more? Is he gonna get more? I don't know. I think, yeah, Marco crawls out there. It seems like Xeno is still just trying to get the best possible result, and I don't blame him. Slugs the unbreakable survivor. That's so unlucky. But that will be the end right there. Oh my god, that actually... What if it was a mind game? Oscar was worth the least amount of stages, right? No, they were worth all about the same. So it doesn't matter who actually got grabbed there. Tried to crawl out, but wasn't able to make it. It's fine. The other survivors do make it out of the game. A very good moral victory as well. Look how many stages we got out. That is the best result I think we've seen so far for a tier 3 Myers set in all of AHL. That is incredible. Calamity played this so very well. It was their pick, so maybe they did have a little bit of time to practice, but Elysium, man, that was so well played. GG's well played to both sides. And now we are going on to the Unknown set, you said. I'm very excited to see this. Unknown is one of those high skill killers, so I really want to see what these killer players for each team. It seems that Xeno and Obi are just the main killers for their team. We'll have to see exactly what they can pull out because this killer is interesting. He could be frustrating to get some UVX shots with, so I'm really interested to see what they can do.
I also need to correct myself real quick. I said Elysium would say goodbye to the entire tournament. That's of course not true. They are saying goodbye to the winner bracket and the grand final, but they would say goodbye to, let's say, the area where they are usually located, the clean run through the bracket. So this is where they would say goodbye, just as a little bit of of a correction there on my end. My honest reaction after forgetting what the pick ban process brought us was, what is this map? We're on Borgo. Xeno is cooking something at the moment with this killer, wants to give us a very, very good show, I hope. Corrupt Intervention paired with the Grim for a little bit of generator defense, and then a little bit chase orientated. The Lethal getting into the first one. No, that's a Blood Favor. What am I think the week was very long, Ray. It's definitely hitting on me, you can tell.
This is really weird, though, I'll admit. You know, I will say, though, I kind of like this version of Borgo. I don't like the other one with the portals. The portal map is terrible, but I like... This map seems kind of interesting. I mean, it has kind of just a recipe for a good map. Not a very strong main building. It has shack in a corner. It has some pretty playable loops. We'll have to see what the killer can cook up. I'm not entirely sure about the pick for Unknown, considering that Unknown has a lot of collision problems. Like, there's a lot of stuff on this map. We'll have to see what they can do. Xeno is just looking around, trying to find the first survivor. We do find Rocket, who is known for his 1v1 chase, so it might be a little bit difficult for Xeno to be able to get him down in a timely manner. Just faking the power right here. You can see... Oh, that was a good shot right there, right through the window. Rocket doesn't even have live. Oh my god, look at this. This is insane. Waiting out for Sprint Burst, however, getting that distance. Oh, able to get that UVX shot just on the edge. Rocket will be put into the injured state. We'll have to see if he is able to get a hit right there. That would have been so insane. Oh my god. But it doesn't come through. Rocket will gonna need some good 1v1 chases right here. Oh, but it's not enough. It was so close to running out. It ran out just the instance. We heard the sound, but it was not enough. An incredibly good chase for Xeno right out of the gate. That will be Rocket put into basement. One generator is done. There should be another that's coming along soon. But it seems like the survivors are going to take the time to walk away. Heinz generator has a lot of progress. That Dwight's generator had a lot of progress. Grim Embrace is active now. There is Hex. No one escapes death. Xeno anticipating that they will be getting to the end game. That's a very healthy assumption given the season's rules this time go around. But we'll have to see if Xeno can sniff out the person he thinks is coming for the save. Oh my god, they already got it. They were already close to being in basement. Will we be seeing a UVX shot right there? We will not. We will not be seeing a hit right there either. Oh my god, this will be Marco trying to just... Oh my god, what is going on here? He does get the infection thing right there, so that will be good for Xeno, possibly getting another follow-up UVX shot. Ah, no, it just misses. Just misses. But this is Marco. He's gonna be able to get to Shack. Not going down just yet. The Shack pallet is still up. Gets another UVX shot right there. He's now in the weakened state. He just needs another follow-up hit. Will we be seeing it happen? A teleport? Is it enough? Oh, man, it was so close. That will be Marco onto the ground, but we do know that this is the Deli survivor, a Deli DS as well, straying a little bit from the meta. Maybe we'll see a very, very quick deliverance, pull himself off of the hook kind of style into a decisive strike. I'm not sure.
Yeah, Grandpa Direwolf took his meds. I'm back to full performance. We are seeing now that Calamity is attempting to go for some time loss here for Zeno. As you mentioned, Ray, with the Deli and DS, you really have all the resources on your hands to make that happen. Zeno is picking instantly and will be punished for that. Marco hitting the decisive strike, making sure that he's gaining a little bit of distance. That's not the easiest task with just 3 seconds, but we are having the shot that is missing, so no UVX status effect onto Marco just yet. Unfortunately, running into the boxes that are placed here around the tile. Quick pickup once again, and that's going to be the second hook stage onto Marco. The interesting question is there even enough time to tunnel out this survivor? And since we're switching to that final generator and seeing that we're on 80% already, I think the answer is no. Hein and Oscar are the targets for the end game. They are worth 3 additional stages. So as soon as the final generator is coming out, Zeno will try to hard committing to Hein and Oscar in luxury. Oh, there's also the adrenaline onto this survivor. This is so unfortunate for Zeno now. I was just about to say, in best case, you can go for a slug on one of these survivors and somehow getting additional stages. But now you can even be happy when you are catching Hein or Oscar, because Calamity is setting up the adrenaline to make sure that the run is going on longer. Luckily, Zeno decided to bring in the No One Escapes Death to have the counter and keeping that survivor in the trial. But with No One Escapes Death already and almost instantly being cleansed, Zeno should be careful how much risk he really wants to take here.
Yeah, especially because we know that those survivors are out and about and able to get the survivor. Will we be seeing a down happening here? No, these are excellent UVX shots, except the survivors are just doing such a good job of playing against it. I think Zeno is conceding here. He does want to get another fresh hook. That'll be really, really good for his team to be able to work with this result. The other 3 survivors are just over there. They're right by the exit gate. We'll have to see if they want to actually come and save Hein. That would be 2 stages if they can get everybody out of the gate without taking another hit. Marco could go down and it would save them 1 stage. So he could be the one person that they try to send in there. And Oscar and Rocket could just be this person who is hovering for body block hits. It might be a little bit difficult against the Unknown because he does have those UVX shots. However, I feel like the projectile is kind of, it's not that hard to dodge. I think for good players, they know exactly how it's going. Except he did get a lot of good hits this game, so I won't count him out just yet. A hallucination right there placed on the top of the stairs. Yes, Marco is hovering a little bit. We see the plan. Is it coming to fruition? We need some saves that are happening. Hello, team. They're all here. They're all trying to get in there. Will the body block be happening in time? Oh my god. There was already somebody in the basement. Zeno is trying to go for some hits. Will there be a body block enough? It doesn't seem like there will be anything that is enough here. There's all these survivors. He's not going to be able to get another hit. Yes, they just get that save. It was too close to the exit gate. It was not enough. Very wonderful result for Calamity. That was just an insane endgame played right there. They did such a good job. They didn't know what the map was beforehand, but they played as if they did.
Absolutely. 3 stages is an insane result, and now we are having during the base game, we could say, and then we are having overall the 4 stages, I believe, as we are having this very last switch to the second stage there. So 4 stages is not at all the result you're looking for here, really. It is not at all what you are expecting when you are talking about the set that you are really used to, right? Because we are not only having the Unknown coming out for Team Elysium, we are also having their great map that they picked, and Borgo is nothing but a usual map when we are talking about competitive DBD. So the fact that we are talking for most of the time these 3 stages in the mid game is really showing us how powerful they are. Then kind of last second here pushing it into 4 stages, so absolutely great game for them. We are going to set up the potentially final trial. So we are going to see how Elysium is going to respond to the danger of potentially dropping into the lower bracket. And we will be back for you straight after this short break.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to potentially the last set. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think I am. Obi playing for Calamity against the Survivor team Elysium. Needs to get, I think, 4 or 5 stages. Oh my god, I just completely blinked out from the last time. Dyer, I need your help a little bit. What are we looking for?
We are looking for 5 stages that would be very clean. The alternative would be 4 stages on 4 individual survivors. So either 5 or 4 on 4. I would say that's definitely a win condition you are feeling very good with.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't know what is going on. 4 stages, 4 fresh or 5 stages on other survivors. This does seem like a very, very winnable sort of game. Instead of taking in Grim Embrace, we have a Pain of Resonance. We don't have very much balancing in AHL, but that is one of the things you can't do is take Grim and Pain Res both. They just synergize way too dang well. So we already have the hit onto Swatter here. Obi tries to get a UVX shot right there, but it is not able to reach. There we go. I think that is Blood Favor that is cleansed. So one of Perk's already gone. We can see that the survivors are doing a good job of just trying to prevent downs. That's what they really, really need. If Elysium doesn't want to be sent to the losers bracket, they have to make sure that they win this game today. So their chases have to be good. They have to last long, and their gen pressure needs to be cooking. We saw Pedro was hovering a little bit there at main building. It could be that he's trying to go for a body block hit, but it could be more beneficial to just sit on a generator, because it seems like Swatter is doing a good job of looping just a little bit. This is a 50 here. Oh, is there going to be a pallet safe? We know that Pedro was somewhere nearby. Will Obi just pick? Is he calling a bluff? The funny part is also Swatter does have Unbreakable, so if Pedro can buy just a little bit of time, that means that he can just get up by himself. Oh, an excellent fake. That was just so good. Pedro will be buying them enough time for a hit right here. Swatter can get up with Unbreakable if he wants, and yes, it does seem like that is what he's going to get. Will this be enough, though? It seems like, it was last second. Zeno needed to be there just a 0.1 second earlier to take a hit there. 2 generators are popped. It seems like the survivors are trying their darndest to get this save. Oh my god, it's not gonna be enough. Pedro here caught out with a flashlight. Will he be going down as well? This could spiral into bad news very, very quickly.
Yeah, and Pedro does not really have a lot of resources to work with, because this shack window is not going to be in reach. Very unfortunate, and I totally understand why Elysium went for this flashlight save, because when the win condition is so tight and you are realizing that you can only hand out 5 stages, you do need to find something where you can really put the killer under pressure, waste some time, make sure that you are getting all 4 survivors back into the game as quick as possible to work on the objectives. And the flashlight save would have been exactly one of these actions to make sure that you are staying dominant against the difficult win condition. The fact that it doesn't work is of course punishing. We had the hook stage on that survivor. We are now having the hook stage onto Pedro here, so we are having 2 stages already on 2 individual survivors as well. Again, the reminder, if we are having 4 stages on 4 individual survivors, then that's even going to be enough as well. Swatter, Zeno, and Granout are now in a pretty difficult position here. They need to decide if they want to go for the basement unhook. Not the easiest task against an unknown as well, as he can quickly shoot you with the UVX. Then he has a little bit of an extra attacking tool basically, so this can be tricky. It seems like Elysium decides to get some gens out of the way. The third one is coming out here. It would be interesting if they are sacrificing Pedro entirely and then play a flawless game from there, if they could turn the win that way.
Yeah, because we are halfway to all of our stages needed, and there's 2 generators left, 3 stacks of Pain Resonance available, Hex No One Escapes Death available. It does seem like this is going to be a GG's if the survivors can't pull out something incredible, but we have seen Elysium play before, and they can definitely clutch it up in end game. We can see that Obi is trying to teleport down into the basement to try to catch somebody off guard, but it seems like the survivors are just letting him die in the basement. That would mean that it could just be one more stage. But they have such good progress. It seems like it is definitely going to work. The 70 seconds on the hook into the basement is going to be a long time to just be waiting. Obi thinking that that is the survivor. Teleports once again back to the basement, and guess what? Nobody is there. It seems like this might actually be an incredibly good idea. However, because Obi still has No One Escapes Death, so if Pedro dies in basement, what needs to happen is that the survivors need to not go down whatsoever. And also the spawn of Hex No One Escapes Death is going to be incredibly important in the end here. We'll have to see if the totem spawns right near where the survivors are. This is Shack Pallet here, so it's gonna be, oh my god, it's cleansed! If the survivors can just last and chase until they get out through the exit gate, that would be the way that they can win this, and might be seeing an Elysium clutch here. We'll have to see. It doesn't seem like there's any resources nearby, however, and that will be Granout on the ground. Now, this is incredibly tense part of the game, because you cannot let Granout die. You cannot let him die on the hook, so you need to get the save. And there we go, there's the exit gate opened. There's 2 survivors. This could be a classic save end game scenario. Will we be seeing it happen? It seems like the survivors are trying to get it that way. Zeno gets grabbed somewhere.
Unfortunately, there's Zeno somewhere getting grabbed. I don't know how, I don't know where, because this was also so unexpected that there's honestly no blame to the producer here, because this came so out of nowhere. We are talking about the rescue being needed, and out of nowhere, Zeno is just vibing in a locker and, I don't know, cooking something. Not sure what happened there. Definitely, absolutely unexpected. And besides the regular gameplay, Ray, do you have any idea what was the plan there? Because Zeno doesn't even have head-on or anything, if I'm not mistaken, right? So I was thinking for a moment. Yeah, I was thinking maybe he was going into a locker, so when they are getting the save, they can run past this locker and then take the head-on stun, basically, to get some extra distance, right? But Zeno doesn't have head-on. There is no perk that even indicates here that the locker is needed. I'm a little bit lost.
It was like the throw of the season,
of the century,
of the whole,
yeah.
of the, I would say century, but it actually was the throw of the season, because not only does that throw the set, that throws Elysium straight into the loser's bracket, and that is giving Calamity the second W over one of the strongest teams in comp DBD at the moment. That is them winning against Elysium, and they won against Eternal last weekend. They are looking so good, and on top that one locker play, I don't know what happened. I don't think anybody was prepared. Zeno was healthy. Maybe he was trying to avoid a UVX shot by jumping in the locker, but Obi expertly played around it and was able to get the grab and onto the hook. GG's, well played to Calamity. They didn't even get to the last set either. Like, this was the second to last set. Very well played.
Yeah, very sad finisher there. I mean, Calamity, it was clear that they are going to take the win here, but if you're then having this very unfortunate grab from the locker and adding so many stages on top, it also feels like you have not lost it by just a little bit.
Wait.
You have lost it very, very clearly.
Okay, apparently the hook didn't matter.
Yeah, that's,
Okay,
that's why I'm saying, like, that's where I mean, I still agree it is the throw of the century, because when you're playing for so long against Calamity in a best of 5, right, then you really want to make sure that if you are already dropping into the lower bracket, then you want to drop with the mindset, we lost to Calamity with just 1 stage, or in best case even just with the 3rd win condition that makes a difference of the individual survivors. Then trying to cook something in a locker and adding 3 additional stages and now having like a very clear result. This is very sad, and I still think this is not the finisher that Elysium deserves or should have looked for. Very unfortunate there. Maybe Xeno had a special plan that we will never know about. So also, this means now that we are having Calamity in the grand final with a Joker set as well. The question is, who is going to join Team Elysium in the winner final? The answer is, it's going to be Eternal or Severance.